9-4. Artifice and Observe both 9-2. They go 9-1 bar 3, and they're running. And Scottish Bar is the first to show from Observe and $50 more, the two stable companions, then King or Country and Neon Light, and then Artifice and Leslie Ann and Masterson as they jump the first of the 15 fences, with Marshall Knight the back marker and Scottish Bar making it. From Observe and $50 more and King or Country, Neon Light and Artifice and Leslie Ann and Masterson as they jump the second. And they're all over that. Tackroy and Marshall Knight are the two back markers, and Scottish Bar has set up quite a commanding advantage at the moment from $50 more. Observe, King or Country, Artifice, Neon Light, Leslie Ann, Masterson, behind Masterson, Wayward Lad, Marshall Knight and Tackroy. A long run to the fourth fence, and Scottish Bar with a 5 to 6 length advantage over Observe and $50 more, then King or Country and Artifice, and then Neon Light and Masterson and Leslie Ann. Behind them Marshall Knight and Wayward Lad, and last at the moment is Tackroy, and still Scottish Bar with his lead considerably reduced by $50 more and Observe. King or Country after a little gap comes fourth, then Artifice and Neon Light and Masterson, and behind them come Leslie Ann, and then Wayward Lad and Marshall Knight and Tackroy as they come to the fourth fence. Scottish Bar from $50 more, Observe, Artifice and King or Country, Masterson, Neon Light, Leslie Ann, Wayward Lad, Marshall Knight, and finally Tackroy. Over number 5, Scottish Bar lands in the lead from $50 more and Observe and King or Country and Artifice. And quite a good gallop it is too, set by Scottish Bar and Steve Joe Bar. From $50 more and Observe, the two stable companions, then King or Country and Artifice and Neon Light and Marshall Knight and Wayward Lad and Leslie Ann, Masterson and Tackroy. As they come to the 6th of the 15 fences in all, the one that will be the last on the next circuit, it's Scottish Bar in the lead from $50 more and Observe and King or Country, Marshall Knight and Neon Light, and behind them Artifice and Masterson and Wayward Lad and Leslie Ann, and finally Tackroy. Another plain fence coming to now with Scottish Bar still in the lead from $50 more and Observe, then Neon Light and Marshall Knight and King or Country, and on the inside Artifice, then Wayward Lad and Leslie Ann and Masterson and Tackroy. That was the order in which they jumped it, and now going down out into the country for the final circuit. Scottish Bar in the lead from $50 more and Observe. Then comes King or Country and Artifice, then Marshall Knight and Masterson, then Wayward Lad and Neon Light and Leslie Ann and Tackroy. At the 8th, Scottish Bar and $50 more landed together then from Observe and Artifice and King or Country and Marshall Knight on the outside, and Wayward Lad making progress, Masterson next, Leslie Ann. And this is the water. Over the water, $50 more, Scottish Bar and Observe. Those three just ahead of King or Country. Artifice on the inside, Marshall Knight, then Masterson, then Wayward Lad. This is the first of the ditches now. $50 more on the outside of Scottish Bar, and Masterson a faller there. Masterson has gone at that ditch, coming down to another plain fence, 5 from home. $50 more and Observe, with between horses Artifice, then comes Scottish Bar, then King or Country on the inside. Wayward Lad is making progress, but it's Observe with the advantage now as they come to the final ditch. Observe from $50 more, Artifice very close, then comes King or Country and Marshall Knight just in behind them. Tackroy's making good progress towards the outside. Scottish Bar has lost ground, so's Neon Light, so's Leslie Ann, and it's Observe in the lead now from Artifice in second. $50 more is third. King or Country is a very close fourth. Then comes Marshall Knight, Tackroy and Wayward Lad as they run down towards the third last, and it's Observe and $50 more, the two stable companions, with Artifice between horses. Marshall Knight coming there strongly, and so is Tackroy. This is the third last. $50 more, Observe, and Observe's a faller. Observe has gone there and left Artifice clear. Artifice clear in the lead now from $50 more in second. Then comes Tackroy, and then Marshall Knight, King or Country and Wayward Lad making ground. Artifice landed in the lead there from $50 more and Tackroy. Wayward Lad nearly a faller, rounding the home turn, and it's Artifice a long way clear. Artifice, who unshipped his rider back in 1979, is coming to win the Mackeson Gold Cup if he stands up at the last. Artifice is well clear of $50 more, who's second. Artifice in the lead from $50 more. Artifice lands well. $50 more jumps in second. Wayward Laird jumps in third. Tackroy 4, and racing into the closing stages, it's Artifice with $50 more in second. $50 more is putting in a tremendous run, but Artifice is still holding him. As they come to the line, it's Artifice with $50 more, putting in a tremendous run to get up and win it. $50 more has got up to win it from Artifice and Wayward Laird, and then came King O' Country and Tackroy and Leslie Ann, and behind them came Scottish Bar and Marshall Knight and Neon Light. Will the judge call for a photo? I think $50 more has got up in those closing stages to beat Artifice. Is the judge going to call for a photo? It's yet to be announced. $50 more, the finisher on the far side, Artifice the finisher on the near side, and the judge has yet to announce whether he's calling on a photo or whether he's going to call his view of the verdict. Still to be announced. Here it comes. It's a photo finish. A photo finish between number 4, $50 more, and number 6, Artifice, with third, Wayward Laird. A storming, dramatic finish there by Richard Linley on $50 more. Did he just wear down Artifice in those closing stages? Let's review them from the Fall of Observe with Julian Wilson.
Well, the two joint champion jockeys, I'm afraid, will want to forget this race in a hurry. Coming to the third last here, John Frankham, a perfect place on the inside in the white cap with Observe. Hadn't asked his man for a supreme effort. Coming to this notorious downhill fence, seemed to jump it all right, but his horse just sprawled and slipped on landing, and that was Observe out of the race. And that fall left Artifice in a clear lead. He was clear here, and you can see that behind him $50 more is in second or third place, but over the next two fences Artifice is going to go further clear of $50 more and seemingly put the issue beyond doubt, because this is the second last fence, and this is where Wayward Laird's chance comes to an end. Look, a 3 from the left there, hits that, loses his hind legs, and that was Wayward Laird out of the race when he still had a small chance of winning, because Robert Earnshaw hadn't asked him for a supreme effort. Round the elbow, and Peter Scudamore says go, and he wants to put this totally beyond doubt. He rides into the last with an advantage of 5 to 6 lengths, increasing that lead, asks his mount for a supreme jump at the last and gets it, and the Mackeson seemed to be over. He shortens up there, jumps it right, comes out of it running, and surely nothing beat Artifice on the last. Suddenly the distress signals are out, and Peter Scudamore goes for his whip, and as he does so, Richard Lindley asks his mount for an effort. He goes away to the rails. Richard's riding with his whip in his left hand, but he's getting a response from $50 more, whereas Artifice completely comes to the end of his tether and is beaten about half a length at the end of a dramatic race.
Well, what a dramatic final flourish that by $50 more. We still have to hear the official verdict, but I'm expecting it to confirm my impression at the time that $50 more got up in the closing stages to beat Artifice. But we still await the official verdict on the 23rd running of the Mackeson Gold Cup, and as we await it, let's take this chance. Well, I say let's get this chance to get up to date, but $50 more is the winner. Second is Artifice, third is Wayward Laird, and fourth is number 9. So the full 1, 2, 3, 4 in the 1982 Mackeson Gold Cup. First, number 4, $50 more, owned by Sheikh Ali Abu Kamsin, trained by Fred Winter and ridden by Richard Lindley. Second, number 6, Artifice, owned by Mr. Paul K. Barber and Mr. John Thorne, trained by John Thorne and ridden by Peter Scudamore.